सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let's chant the Mangalacharanam. सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्त सिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दम्
सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्
सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्
दुर्लभं त्रयमेवैतत्
दुर्लभं त्रयमेवैतत्
देवानुग्ररहेतुकम्
I'm not getting the script, Guruji.
देवानुग्ररहेतुकम्
देवानुग्ररहेतुकम्
मनुष्यत्वं मुमुक्षुत्वम्
मनुष्यत्वं मुमुक्षत्वं
महापुरुषसंश्रयः
महापुरुषसंश्रयः
लब्ध्वा कथञ्चिन्नरजन्म दुर्लभम्
लब्ध्वा कथञ्चित् नरजन्मं दुर्लभम्
तत्रापि पुंस्त्वं श्रुतिपारदर्शनम्
तत्रापि पुंस्त्वं श्रुतिपारदर्शनम्
यस्वात्ममुक्त्यै नयते तमूढधीः यस्वात्ममुक्त्यै
It's the
Yes,
third shloka in our PDF. The very
Sorry?
first, second, and third. We are on the third.
one second. Sorry, Guruji.
That's okay. Just repeat after me. Yaswatmamuktyai
यस्वात्ममुमुक्त्यैः
नयते तमूढधीः
नयतेत मूढधीः
सह्यात्मः स्वम्
सह्यात्मः स्वं
विनिहन्त्य सद्ग्रहात्
विनिहन्त्य असद्ग्रहात्
पठन्तु शास्त्राणि यजन्तु देवान्
पठन्तु शास्त्राणि यजन्तु देवान्
कुर्वन्तु कर्माणि भजन्तु देवताः
कुर्वन्तु कर्माणि भजन्तु देवताः
आत्मैक्यबोधेन विना मुक्तिः
आत्मैक्यबोधेन विना विमुक्तिः
न सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि
न सिद्ध्यन्ति ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि
चित्तस्य शुद्धये कर्म
चित्तस्य शुद्धये कर्म
न तु वस्तूपलब्धये
न तु वस्तु उपलब्धये
वस्तुसिद्धिर्विचारेण
वस्तुसिद्धिर्विचार्येण
न किञ्चित् कर्मकोटिभिः
न किञ्चित् कर्मकोटिभिः
अतो विचारः कर्तव्यः
अतो विचारः कर्तव्यः
जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः
जिज्ञासोरात्मवस्तुनः
समासाद्यतया सिन्धुम्
समासाद्यतया सिन्धुम्
गुरुं ब्रह्मविदुत्तमम्
गुरुं ब्रह्मविदुत्तमम्
So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya started with Manushya Janma Prasamsa, praise of human birth. And then he quickly enters the topic of moksha, which is different from dharmartha kama. And dharmartha karma involves karma. Dharma, artha, and karma can only be produced by karma. Rather, karma can only produce dharma, artha, and karma. Then what about moksha, if we say? Then for Advaita Vedanta, this is the key. The key is because the human problem called samsara is created by ignorance of one's own self, jnanam becomes very important. And he said that in the previous shloka. Chittasya shuddhaye karma, natu vastupalabdhaye, vastu siddhir vicharena. So, vastu siddhihi, brahma siddhihi, moksha siddhihi, atma siddhihi, vicharena eva labhyate. So, only by knowing who I am, and that involves analysis, involves what is a mistake I made. You please tell me. That means I have to know what is what. Therefore, he said that. And if that is the case, then karma is absolutely useless. All these janmas I've been wasting my time. Well, we won't say all these janmas you're wasting your time. You did karma in order to get what is called chitta shuddhihi. That's what he says here. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Okay, that much we saw. So by now we are beginning to see how the teaching unfolds. The beauty of this text is Shankaracharya is quietly will be taking us. As you can see, some of the advanced students of Tattva Bodha, Bhagavad Gita, and Upanishad, you know, may be thinking, yeah, I wish I had studied Vivekachoodamani before, like that. It's because nice systematic flow is there. So now, having established that karma cannot give jnanam, I mean, karma cannot give moksha, only jnanam can give moksha. And therefore, now he says, ataha vicharaha kartavyaha. So we should continue with number 6, no? Shloka number 6. Yeah. Ataha vicharaha kartavyaha. Ataha means therefore. Therefore, one must engage in kartavyaha. One must engage in vichara, in inquiry. And inquiry of what? If you ask, Atma Vastunaha. Atma Vastunaha. Inquiry of Atma Vastu. Technical word again. Atma cha asam Vastu cha. So, Atma, which is also called Vastu. Vastu. That which is to be known. In Viveka Upanishad, the student is asking the question, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijnate Sarvam Idam Vijnatam Bhavati Iti. The student is asking a pointed question to the teacher. Pointed question is, tell me that knowing which everything else is as well known. This is the question. So that is Atma Vastu. That is Atma Vastu. Here Shankaracharya is using that word. And so, Vicharaha Kartavyaha. It's very important. Who am I? It's a popular question. You have books titled Who Am I also. Who am I? So that comes from this kind of thinking. That kind of inquiry is not there in every other sampradaya. Correct? Who am I is not an important question at all in Vishistadvaita. That doesn't play in Dvaita. Dvaita and Vishistadvaita assume the world is absolutely real. I am Jiva is absolutely real. Ishvara is absolutely real. Whatever you see is absolutely real. Once everything is absolutely real, then within the reality, we have to find out what moksha is. That is what all religions offer. So therefore, here, Vicharaha kartavyah. Somebody says you sit, eyes closed, and then ask, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Koham, 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 koham. Then one fine day you will get an answer. What answer you will get? Soham, soham, soham. Koham means what? Who am I? Kaha aham. Soham means what? Saha aham. He am I. He am I. This is a very popular idea. Very popular idea. That is, you have to let go of all this connection with the world and lose yourself and just close your eyes and be yourself. And then keep asking, who am I? So, and then they say diving deep inside yourself. All these words are very popular. Diving deep. So we ask a very simple question. Knowledge requires pramanam. Knowledge requires pramanam. Suppose I say, please see what I have in my hand. Suppose I say, please tell me what I have in my hand. What will you do? Will you be doing like this, showing your ears toward the screen? Showing the ears, because you have 5 sense organs. You can use anything, right? So I say, close your eyes and please tell me what I have in my hand. Sorry, sir, we can't do that. That won't work. You didn't say, please hear what sound the pot is making. If I said, okay, you can do like this. But I said, please see what is there in my hand. So please see means you already know. You have to operate a pramanam. You have to operate a pramanam. That pramanam is called chakshu, eyes. And only the eyes can tell you what is this there in my hand. You can't even say, I've been watching WhatsApp all night and so my eyes are hurting and burning. And so for a change, let me just use my nose and figure out. It won't work. Why it won't work? Because that is the definition of pramanam. Pramanam does a job. And uh, not only it helps you recognize, in this case, names and forms, eyes, nama rupa. Also, no other pramanam can replace this pramanam. It is unique. It is unique. That's why all these sense organs, when Nachiketa was told by Yamadharmaraja, I will give you this whole universe. You can be the king of Samrat. You can be Maha Samrat. They have to figure out a name for you because you'll be Maha Samrat. Then I'll give you all music, dance, food, everything I'll give you. And this boy says, yeah, I'll be dancing and enjoying music and my sense organs will deplete. Like that he's saying. Will deplete, he says. Jarayanti tejaha. Indriyanam jarayanti tejaha. Like that, I think he says. So, here also it is the same thing. Same thing. Same thing means what? How am I? Who is going to tell me who I am? Simply asking the question means, hey, maybe there is a hidden message in that. Simply asking the question means, may you come back to this. May you focus your attention on this self-discovery. That is how we will interpret it. But sitting, you can't get the answer. If you know the answer, you don't need to sit asking the question. If you don't know the answer, you have to figure out the answer. All along, if you want to know something, you are Googling, you are asking somebody, neighbor, this, that, so many, you're reading books, so many things we do. But for who am I have to sit and close my eyes. No, not possible. Jnanam means jnanam. That's it. Something has to happen. I am confused. If I close my eyes, what will happen? And become calm? What will happen is I will become calm. Previously, I was not calm and confused. Now, what about now? I will be calm and confused. That is only the transformation that can happen, calm and confused. So, vicharaha kartavyaha is critical. Here Shankaracharya is saying, here we are talking of a very big thing. My current vision is I am insecure and I want to become secure. I don't know. I try to be secure by dharma, artha, and kama, but that's always up and down. And so I've come to recognize that there is something fundamentally wrong. I'm doing something fundamentally wrong. And that's the whole approach here. And so uh, and therefore that relating to the Shastram is so important. That's where Shastra shines in our life. Shines in our life. It says Shasanat Trayate iti Shastram. By being in a position of offering me what I really need. Shas means to command, right? So being in that commanding position and giving me what I want. And therefore, that's where Shastram. Once I see the place of Shastram, then the Shastram becomes bigger and bigger in my life. It plays a bigger role in my life. And the desire is still the same. I want to be happy. That is the basic and fundamental desire. I don't want to be unhappy. And so, these momentary experiences of happiness and unhappiness are the raw material for me, raw material to do this analysis. This analysis is based on my own experiences, and everybody has those experiences. Sorrow, joy, frustration, disappointment. If I say all these things, I understand everything. Even an illiterate person will understand all this. And so then the person can connect to the Shastra. Talking about that. And shortly he will talk about what is the qualification required for this jnana. He will talk in the next sloka. But here, look at this. So this person is what? Jignasoho atma vastuna. Jignasoho. There are some very interesting words in Sanskrit. Jignasa. Any word you take, you can convert it into. Suppose you take a verb. Here the word is nya dhatu, janati, to know. So janati, janasi, etc. is there. And you take the word. Suppose you want to form a word which refers to a person who wants to know, a person who desires to know. Know is the action, correct? But now what about a person who desires to know? That person is called jignasuhu. Like earlier we saw mumukshuhu, manushyattvam, mumukshutvam, mahapurusha samshrayaha. There we saw mumukshutvam. So mumukshuhu. It's called in Sanskrit san pratyaya. Don't worry about it. That's only for Sanskrit students. Adding a pratyaya, a suffix to nya dhatu will convert the word into jignasa. The desire to know is called jignasa. A person who desires to know is called a jignasu. Okay, these are all beautiful constructs. Any verb you can take and form another noun. From a verb, you are forming what? A noun. Because jignasa is noun. Jignasuhu is a noun. So from a verb, convert it into a noun. In English also sometimes we do, right? Eat. Suppose I say eat. Eat is a verb. Eatery. Eatery is a noun. Eating. Present continuous verb. Eating can also be a noun. You know, you have to change your eating habits. So some nounish, adjectivish. So like this, you have in English also you have those things. So here, jignasu word is used. Now Shankaracharya is saying, okay, now this person has become a jignasu. Okay, now the person has understood the limitations of karma and has decided to know what is this, who am I is a big topic. And so I have to know who I am. Like that, desire to know has happened. That person is referred to as a jignasu. See, there are a lot of interesting details. I'm just deciding what to say and what not to say because this is supposed to be a basics class. But at the same time, many of you have already taken Upanishads and other classes. So I want to challenge all of you also a little bit, give you some additional information. So Therefore, here he says, Guru Samasadya. He brought the topic of Guru now. So once I understood that there is something called Atma which I have to know, then what should I do? Guru Samasadya. Samasadya. We are now reminded of the Kaivalya Upanishad. Athashvalayanaha. Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasametyo Vacha. Upasametya Vacha. Same thing. Samasadya. Upasametya. Mundaka, one more. Mundaka also, the similar thing is there. Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan Nirvedamayat Brahmana. Pariksha Lokan means what? Having analyzed my life experiences, that Dharmartha Kama is going to be this way. Moksha is not going to come in this category. It's a different thing altogether. Pariksha Lokan. अपना experiences को परीक्षा करके कर्मचितान. Karmachitan. What is that experience? That my experiences are all born of karma only. I do, I get, I do, I get, I do, I get. That's all that is called karmachitan in that shloka. Pariksha lokan karmachitan nirvedamayat brahmanaha. Nirvedamayat. That person has now gained dispassion, vairagyam towards this dharma, artha and kama. Okay, vairagyam. Dharma, artha and kama are useful, but the limited use they are. Correct? Nirvedamayat brahmanaha. So here he is using the word jignasu. There he is using the word brahmanaha. Why brahmanaha? Brahmanaha means not somebody who is wearing a thread and putting all kinds of white stuff on the forehead. No, that person is not brahmana. Brahmanaha is one whose desire is to know Brahma. Brahmana. So, the other day somebody came and they wanted some guidance on how to help these our so-called Brahmins to do their daily rituals and Sandhya Vandanadi. So they wanted me to write up something too. So I did that. And how do you inspire these people to do? It's a very tough job. So I told them, what is a Brahmana? What is a Brahmana? What do you think is a Brahmana? Who is a Brahmana? You say you are a Brahmin. Brahmin means what? What makes you a Brahmin? My parents were Brahmins. Okay, my parents were Brahmins is fine, but who are you? We are talking about you, not your parents, right? Okay, who are you? Why are you called a Brahmin today? I don't know. I don't know, because the safe answer is I don't know. Safe answer. I have Gotra, they all funny answers you will get. Funny answers. So I don't know the safe answer. So I told them, you are a Brahmin because you are supposed to know Brahma. If you don't know Brahma, at least your goal must be to know Brahma. Please tell me, is that what is your life leading towards Brahma or not? So, so that is the meaning of Brahma. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad gives other meanings for Brahman and all that. We'll see that another time. And so, Gurum Samasadya, having approached, having approached the Guru. Why should I approach somebody? You're asking me to know something. Google is there, Chat GPT is there. The computing technology is good these days. And so many things are there. Now that you have given me the clue, I can figure it out. It is exactly like learning to drive a car. Learning to drive a car, guess what? You cannot drive by yourself. Correct? There is a system in place which you have to follow. The reason is, if you know to drive the car, in order to sit in the driver's seat, you must know how to drive a car. But in order to know to drive the car, you have to sit in the driver's seat. So it's a catch-22. Catch-22 situation it is. Clean catch-22. And so we have developed a system. What is that system? Hey, you have to pass some exam. It's a learner's exam, whatever. And they will have these days, I don't know how things are, but those days you have to pass an exam. You have to fill up a paper and pass the exam. Then they'll give you what is called a learner's permit. And then you have to sit with somebody who has a license, driver's license, and then they will teach you cautiously, they will go. And if you join all these learning schools, the car will be a little different. There will be a brake pedal. The guru, the guru sitting on the next to him will have a brake pedal, because we don't know this guy what he's going to do. Instead of pressing the brake, what happens if he press the accelerator? Come on, stop! Just go zooms. How many times it has happened? How many times it has happened? Once I was teaching somebody, a friend, and he turned. You have to allow the opposing traffic to come, then only you can turn. And this guy turned. He said, "Stop!" And then he turned faster. And then the guy who came from the big front just banged on the car. Banged completely. Car got total. And so that means what? That is the system. You have to follow that system. Here also, nobody stops anybody from studying themselves. But the topic is such, the traps are too many. The mind will keep going in directions which we are used to. Dharma, artha, kama mind it is. And that mind, if I use for this moksha, I will be trapped. That is the idea here. Guru Samasadhya. And Samasadhya. This also is there. Mundaka Upanishad, we just saw. Shaunako Havai Mahashalaha. Angirasam Vidivad Upasannaha. Paprajam. We saw that. Look at that. These three courses seem to be going in a parallel track, it seems, somehow. Kya baat hai, na? So, Vidhivat, there it is Vidhivat. Here it is Samasadhya. Means respectfully. Because you are approaching a person who wants nothing, who wants zero. From this universe, they want zero. Nothing, no expectation, no agenda is there. So such a person is called what? The Daya Sindhu. Daya Sindhu. He is just an ocean of compassion, he or she. Daya Sindhu. Because nothing, a person who wants nothing from the world is ready, he has to teach. And that person doesn't have to teach, really speaking. Because that person thinks this problem is an illegitimate problem. It really has no basis. But still, when somebody is coming with a problem, right? Or if somebody is saying there's a snake outside, it's very scary out there. Then you have to say that what you're seeing is not a snake. But that is not a straightforward process. Snake, okay, that example is fine. Example you can give and walk away. But here it is vicharaha. Ataha vicharaha kartavyaha. And then Guru. So the two adjectives are given to Guru. One is Daya Sindhu, ocean of compassion, right? Must be compassion, because day after day after day, the person has to talk about the same thing. Same thing. And in between, the person has to figure out any jokes to tell also. Because otherwise, it will be too dry. Very dry. So how will you handle a topic like this? That is why next he is going to talk about qualification. Qualification. Because the staying power must be there. Ordinary things will not give us staying power. Dharmartha kama will not give us staying power. So that therefore this guy teacher must be compassionate to talk about the same thing again and again. And the student must be qualified, which he will talk about shortly. Okay. So therefore, that person is a Daya Sindhu and also Brahmavit Uttamam. Uttamam only in relation to Dharmartha Kama pursuits. The Atma pursuit is very different. And that is Uttamam. Uttamam means great. Because earlier Shankaracharya said, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshraya. So now he's bringing that Guru. Okay. And then this particular Uttamam, the person is definitely a very different, great. You can just simply use the word great. You should not translate this as he's a great. Okay, Brahmavit means what? Knower of Brahma. Knower of Brahma. With, that is the suffix to Brahma. Means knower of Brahma. Gatavit. Gatavit, one who knows all about pots. is a Ghatavit. So Brahmavit, one who knows Brahma, who is great, very different indeed. Such a person is rare, and therefore Uttamam. And he's being a Daya Sindhu, Brahmavit Uttamam. So it's a very peculiar pursuit. Peculiar. Because it's not talking about accomplishing something new. It is not a new investment scheme that we are talking about. And that investment one can do anytime. And then finish off after, paying some money, one can attend that course. I signed up for a course on Chat GPT. They said something like, um, learn all about this Chat GPT, etc. It's a 3 hour workshop one evening. 3 hour workshop, that was too much time for me. So I anyway attended. So after 1 hour of the thing, I attended. And they were talking about how this particular system is, you can say something like, this is a new year and I want to write a song, and the song must be in English, and you put some music to it, and the music must be a very inspiring music. Okay. And then takadaka, and then go for it. And it should not be more than two whatever paragraphs or two stanzas. And this guy starts singing. The system is starting to sing with music. That is where I entered the hall. That's where I entered when I logged in. Then I stayed there for some time. Then he was talking about some advanced stuff. I missed out the first hour I missed out. That is where the real basics of Chat GPT was talked about. So this is not Chat GPT where I can just attend a course and then come out of it and then learn some more tools. I can have some more tools in my back pocket. Not like that. Not like that. So this is Avichara Siddhi. There is a conclusion I have made about myself. Siddhi. I'm introducing a new phrase called Avichara Siddhi. Siddhi means what? I've made a conclusion about myself without thinking through. Avichara Siddhi. I am a mortal. That is a conclusion all of us have made. Everybody has made. It's a very common thing. We call it Avichara Siddhi. Body is mortal is correct, but how do you know I am mortal? From body is mortal, how did I go to I am mortal? That is a big jump. But we all make that jump because we don't know any better. So, Daya Sundrum, Gurum, Brahmavid, Uttamam, Samasadhya. Having approached respectfully, you can say all that. Samyak, Asadhya, Sad. So, here, let me read the meaning here. Hence, the seeker after the reality of the Atman should take to reasoning after duly approaching the Guru, who should be the best of the knowers of Brahma. Okay, that's a little different. That's not what I'm saying. We will just say who is great and who is a knower of Brahma. That is enough. Because among knowers of Brahma, great means now I have to explain what is who is a knower of Brahma, better knower of Brahma, and then best knower of Brahma and all. We don't need that discussion now. Although there is that discussion in the Shastra, it is there. Okay. So, but we'll leave that aside now. So, and an ocean of mercy, he says here. Okay. Next sloka. अधिकारिणमाशास्ते
अधिकारिणमाशास्ते
फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः
फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः
उपाया देशकालाद्याः
उपायाद्देशकालाद्याः
सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः.
सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः.
Once again, अधिकारिणमाशास्ते
अधिकारिणमाशास्ते
Phalasiddhirvisheshatah.
फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः
उपायादेशकालाद्याः
उपायादेशकालाद्याः
सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः.
सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः धन्यवादः
So, Guru must be a Brahmavid. He talked about the qualification of a Guru. As if this is about teaching something. The teacher must know what he or she is teaching about. Therefore, Brahmavid, that he has mentioned. Then what about the student? This is the question. Next 10 shlokas or 11, 7 till 17th shloka, this topic of what we call adhikaritvam is being talked about. In your notebook also says, I think there is a title. Title is the qualified student, correct? So that is what is being talked about. The adhikari. Who is an adhikari? Adhikarinam ashaste. Okay. Asmin. Look at the last. Santi asmin sahakarina. Asmin. Last quarter, right? Santi asmin sahakarina. So asmin, the word is there. Asmin means in this. In this. In this means what? In this context. Now that I have told you what the topic is, Shankaracharya is saying, you know it's moksha. And you know, jnanena moksha, karmana, na karma kotibihi and all, we know all that. Shankaracharya said, and therefore, asmin vishaye, in this topic, in this context, because the topic is knowledge, anybody can ask, am I qualified to study this? That question anybody can ask. Am I qualified? Somebody who's never invested money at all, he doesn't even know what a mutual fund is. He has not heard the word stock. He wants to invest in Bitcoin. Suppose somebody says Bitcoin. So what do you do to that person? Where do you start, right? So somebody has to educate that person. No, investment is a big thing. Okay, you can lose your shirt and you can lose your life also. Life also can be lost because if it starts with 1 hour, half an hour a day, then 1 hour a day, then 2 hours a day, then 4 hours a day, then 8 hours a day, and then the whole day is gone. This is called investment. And so all these things are happen. Are you sure you have full control of yourself? Okay. All right. So qualification is there for anything. For anything you take qualifications there. Cooking, I want to learn how to cook. All right. Some basic qualifications are required. Where do we start from? So then the teacher will say, what do you know? You tell me. Do you know the difference between chana dal and tur dal? Okay. Uh, Suppose he says, yeah, that's all. I know all that. Suppose he says, that's good. Suppose he says, oh, what is chana dal? What is tur dal? Like that, if he asks, then what? Then the teacher knows, oh, this is going to be a tough nut to crack. Correct? Because very advanced teacher. But even for the advanced teacher, this is going to be a tough nut to crack. Okay. So therefore, that person who is qualified for a thing is called adhikari. Adhikarinam ashaste. Ashaste means what? That's the verb here. Suppose somebody at home says, guests are coming this afternoon for lunch. Guests are coming. Family of 5, 6 are there. One person, the mom says, guests are coming for lunch. Then says, what? Guests are coming for lunch? How many people? 6 people are coming. 6 people are coming? Sunday? Yeah, okay. Why? Why? Is it shocking or what? Well, what about food? Are you going to order food? No, I'm going to make. I'm going to start now. What you should do is, okay, then clean up the living room. It's a bit dirty, clean it up. So all these things, expectation. These are all expectation. Clean it up. And then, what do you want to keep? Do you have any snacks for them? Are you going to give them any appetizers? And what's for lunch? all these questions will come, right? Ashaste means these questions will arise. Once somebody says somebody is coming for lunch, these questions will arise. Here also, when somebody says you Gurum Samasadhya, somebody says that, then immediately some question will arise. What question will arise? Adhikarinam. Who is the Adhikari? Who is qualified to go toward Guru? That question will arise. Adhikari, that expectation. Ashaste means what? There is a call for. There is a call for an Adhikari. There is an expectation of an Adhikari. Okay. And who is qualified for it? And we'll come to the Phalasiddhi later. He's saying there are many things that are useful in this pursuit. Many things are useful. Upayaha desha kaladhyaha. This pursuit, many things are useful. But Adhikari is the most important. That is what he's going to make. That point he's going to make. Who am I? The person who is coming to go to the teacher. Who is that person? That is the most important qualification. Has the person analyzed life? Does the person know what is what? Does the person even understand there is Anityam versus Nityam? Does the person know that I am looking for Nityam, really speaking, through all these Anityam? And therefore, the person realizes that, oh, this is going to be an endless game. Maybe that is why I've been born again and again and again. Does the person know all these things? That is what an Adhikari is going to be. And he's going to explain what an Adhikari is later. But there are other things which are upayaha, which are sahakarinaha, which are helpful. Sahakari means helpful in this pursuit. The upayaha, the other things, what is upaya means place time or auxiliary means. Okay, upayaha means. Sahakarinaha, auxiliary means complementary things that are there which are very useful. For example, I mean, if a child wants to go to school and study, what is the greatest qualification for the child to study? Well, the child is ready and to know, and the child is able to engage with the teacher, and he is learning a lot of subjects and able to grasp, able to do homework. All that is there. But Sahakarinaha is also there. The home must be a functional home. There must be parents at home. The parents are asking what is going on in school, what homework has been given, let's do, etc. There is some encouragement at home also. Very important. If that is not there, then this study is going to be affected, negatively affected. So all those are sahakarina. Child doesn't have to worry about anything else at home. And so the only thing the child does is to play and come home and study. That's it. That works. So here also he's saying there are some secondary things that are useful in this pursuit. Desha kala adhyaha. Desha kala adhyaha. Desha. Desha means place. Kala means time. Place and time, etc. Place, time, etc. This pursuit requires undivided attention. Okay, 1 hour we are supposed to sit with a focused mind, obviously. And in an ashram, it becomes easy. It's automatic. Why is automatic? Because there is nothing else. Ashram is meant for that. In fact, you went to the ashram for that sake only. And so automatically the stage is set. And then we go attend the class. Class is there. Swamiji is sitting right there. And so there is nothing else to for me to divert my attention towards. Phone itself is not there. Phone is in the room. Phone, there's no chance. And after this class, there will be break, and then another class will be there, then lunch will be there, then this, that, etc. Start with puja, this, that, everything is going on. So automatically it's all set. And so that is desha. Desha means what? A place which is conducive for my study. That is called desha. Conducive, whatever is useful for us, conducive. Now we are not doing that. We are doing something very extraordinary. It's called Zoom. This Zoom thing has just changed the whole system completely. But it comes, now you can see, it comes with its drawbacks. Because the teacher can be distracted, the student can be distracted anytime, because everybody is a grahastha here. Grahastha means responsibilities are that people are going to be there at home demanding our attention. It's a very risky thing. You're all treading a very fine line. You're all walking in a razor's edge, correct? Razor's edge. Anytime, anything can happen. Guruji, I'm going to Mahakumbh. Is it all right if I don't attend 3 classes? Tell me what I should do. How dare you go to Mahakumbh? That's what I should say? Is that what I should say? You registered for the course. Now you're saying I'm going to Mahakumbh. That's what I should say? So, Daya Sindhu, see, Guru will just smile and say, okay, go to Mahakumbh, enjoy and come back. Okay, send us some photographs also. So, we also can share that enjoyment, So, this is called distraction. In ashram, you can't say, Guruji, let me go to Mahakumbh. You can't say that. Mahakumbh is happening, let it happen, let people enjoy Mahakumbh. So, Desha, look at that. Desha is useful. And that's why Zoom also, I tell people, if you are somehow, something has to be done during this time, you go do that. Don't allow your mind to get fragmented. And then you end up not doing that properly and you're not paying attention to the class also. Class will wait. So we should learn to just prioritize. So that's why he's saying Desha, Kala. Okay, Kala. Similarly, time also. Time. So they say in our culture, it's very commonly said, get up early in the morning and study. Get up early in the morning and study. Brahma Muhurta, it's called. It's also called Brahma Muhurta. Very interesting words they use. And so you're supposed to get up at 4:30 or whatever, and then the Veda Padashalas, that's what they do. And so Kala is there very much. There's a particular time. Early in the morning, the mind is not yet started thinking about all the things to do that day. And it is just woken up and it is fresh, waiting for stuff, waiting for masala to come. And so that is the time I can focus. Like that they say. But now we are not following that because we have decided we come. Some of you it is evening time, night time for you. For some of us it's morning time. Okay. And one person is attending from this Doha, and for that person it is morning 3:30. I don't know if he's here, but he has been attending. Okay, and so 3:30 in the morning. Look at that. So for him it is closer to Brahma Muhurta. Correct. In fact, he is a person who is studying at the right time. All of us a little late. So that is all Kala. Kala, time. There's a time, good. This time and place and all that are good. But they are Sahakarinaha. Sahakarinaha means what? They are helpful. They are helpful. Being in an ashram is helpful. But they are only secondary, complementary. They're not primary. Primary is what? Adhikarinam ashaste. Adhikari. Who am I is a primary thing. Am I ready for it? Am I prepared for this subject? That is a primary thing. Everything else is useful. If you can attend a class in the ashram, please attend. If you can go somewhere, somebody's house, and it's in the morning time, etc., do for it. Go for it. But otherwise, it's all right. You can still study. There is a person who can get moksha in Zoom. The person who can go to ashram and then still come out with empty-handed also. Both are possible. Correct? Both are possible. And so, why? Because they are all sahakarina. They are they're not primary, secondary they are. Santi. Deshakaladhyaha upayaha santi. Look at the Anvaya. This time, place and other things. Helpful understanding family is needed. Correct? Family should be understanding that this guy is pursuing something like this and some encouragement must be there. Some families are very tuned to Brahma Vidya. They're very tuned to it. And so then anybody, they will just pick it up. Just like that. Naturally it comes to them. What about other families? Other families, I mean, it may not be like that. So Even as you are entering the Zoom class, about to log in, this 6:15 a.m. Zoom class. Don't you have anything better to do? Somebody is coming right there. I can hear it. Okay. So, okay, that is what. That's not the way to start a class, right? Okay, we need you for so many things. And right in the middle of the morning, you are attending a class. How is it useful for us? Please tell me. Okay, like that, somebody can say. That means what? You need an environment that is conducive for this pursuit. So, Deshakaladhyaha upayaha santi asmin vishaye. They are all sahakarinaha. Upayaha sahakarinaha. So they are they are secondary means that can help this pursuit. Then one more word is there. Phala siddhihi visheshatah. Phala siddhi. Siddhi means accomplishment. Accomplishment of the phalam, of the result. And for the accomplishment of this result is jnanam. And through jnanam moksha, that is the accomplishment. Phala siddhihi. And what action? Result of what action? Hey, that was there in the previous shloka. Ato vichara kartavyaha atma vastunaha. Last shloka was said. So, atma vastunaha vicharasya phalasiddhihi. The result of the inquiry into the Atma, Atma Vastu, okay, Phalasiddhihi, Visheshataha Adhikarinam Ashaste, especially calls for a qualified student, especially, Visheshataha means especially, primarily, specifically calls for a qualified student. And that is what a guru will look for in the Q&A. The guru wants to know, you come to study this topic, and so they have to find out what. Are you running away from something? This running away, people can't pick this up. The guru can quickly figure out what's going on. Correct? And so all that they are finding out. This person is really interested. What is the person doing? Who are you? Do you have a family? What are your children doing? Why are you here? This because ashram is not a regular place anybody visits. And so when the person says, I want to study, then it's definitely a very refreshing thing. But adhikarinam ashaste, the guru has to find out this person is an adhikari or not. That is what this shloka is telling us. And
Guruji, would you mind repeating the meaning of the word ashaste one more time?
ashaste, asha, there is an expectation. There is an expectation of an adhikari. There's an expectation of the question, who is the adhikari? When somebody says, I want to approach a guru, then the guru is expecting an adhikari there in front. So let me read the meaning and you'll understand. Translation, look at this. Accomplishment of the desired end. This is a different translation, okay? So write this down. Accomplishment of the desired end. Okay. Especially calls for a qualified person. Accomplishment of the desired end especially calls for a qualified person. Full stop. Place, time, etc. or auxiliary means. Auxiliary means secondary means. Place, time, etc. or auxiliary means in this pursuit. Accomplishment of the desired end especially calls for a qualified person. Full stop. Place, time, etc. or auxiliary means in this pursuit. So, Prasanna, I hope that is clear.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah. Qualification is important. Why? Because even with the right qualifications, it can take some time. Can take some time. And it is that kind of a pursuit. Aneka janma samsiddhim tato yati param gatim. Krishna says that Aneka Janma Samsiddhi. This is gained over several janmas, he says, Krishna. And so that preparation is needed like that. This shloka introduces the idea of adhikaritvam or a qualified person or qualifications. This shloka onwards. And then till 17th shloka, the discussion will be on this adhikari. Next shloka. साधनान् यत्र चत्वारि साधनान् यत्र चत्वारि.
Unable to unmute.
Now we can hear you. We can hear you, Master. Stay like that.
Okay, okay. साधनान्यत्र चत्वारि
कथितानि मनीषिभिः
कथितानि मनीषिभिः
येषु सत्स्वेव सन्निष्ठा
येषु सत्स्वेव सन्निष्ठा
यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति.
यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति.
साधनान् यत्र चत्वारि
साधनान्यत्र चत्वारि
कथितानि मनीषिभिः
कथितानि मनीषिभिः
येषु सत्स्वेव सन्निष्ठा
येषु सत्स्वेव सन्निष्ठा
यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति.
यदभावेन सिद्ध्यति.
So, he is now going to start elaborating. What do you mean by qualification? And he is going to say, Chatvari sadhanani atra. The first word has to be split. Sadhanani atra. In your printout, it is split very nicely. But in most places, it won't be split. Sadhanani atra. See, this printout is a little odd, because sadhananya atra. That's how it says. Sadhananya atra. So, sadhanani atra. Then there is a sandhi which brings in this yakara. Yan sandhi is there. But I hope you're getting used to all these funny Sanskrit constructs. So, sadhanani atra chatvari. There are 4 things that comprise what we call adhikaritvam. Okay. Kathitani manishibihi. Sadhanani chatvari kathitani. Have been told, have been talked about by manishas, by wise people, manisha, by wise people, jnani bihi, by wise people. 4 things are talked about, 4 sadhananis, 4 means are talked about. Okay. Now, some little introduction we have to give. See, dharma, artha, kama is here. Moksha is here. What is the qualification to gain dharma, artha, and kama? Suppose somebody asks, what is the qualification? What do you mean by what is qualification? Everybody is seeking artha, everybody is seeking kama, everybody is seeking this one, dharma also, punyam also. Well, here we should take the approach that our Vedas take. So Vedas talk about karma kanda, jnana kanda. Vedic society. Vedic society. In a Laukika world, etc., you can give some example. What is the qualification for you to get artha? Means you have to You have to be somewhat what physically capable. Okay? Or you must know people who are physically capable to get security for you. That is what Artha is. And you must know how to get Artha. What are the better ways to make yourself secure? What are the wrong ways to seek security? Okay, all that one must know. Those are all the qualifications. But then, in a Vedic society, everything is centered around Vaidika karma. Vaidika karma. Okay? Because Vaidika karma also gives me artha and kama and dharma. Punyam papam it gives. And so, what are the qualifications for performing rituals for these things? All of us have performed rituals. At least once a year, twice a year, something. Or at least during Graha Pravesha, we've done some rituals, some homa. So all these things are there. But in a Vedic society, it was not like that. So brahmachari has to get initiated in the Veda, and by the age of 7, that person is doing Anushtanam 3 times a day. That person quickly gets used to Anushtanam. Vaidika karma, that person does not need any introduction at all. No introduction is needed. Because that person is doing that Vaidika karma. Sandhyavandanam is being done. Okay. And so, brahmachari is initiated into Vaidika karma. What are the qualifications to do that Vaidika karma? You have to get initiated into the Veda. There is a particular process for doing that. So, Upanayanam, etc. is there. And so, that is a qualification. That becomes a qualification. And then now you are supposed to do these things. Prata Sandhya is there, Madhyaniga Sandhya is there, Sayam Sandhya is there. You have to do it. Sayam Sandhya should not be done when it is late in the night. You can't do Sayam Sandhya. You have to do it when the sun is not set yet. So we can look at sun because prarthanas are there to sun. You are supposed to face sun and say Imam Me Varuna and all you have to say. So when the sun is not there means how are you going to chant these mantras? Who will you look at? And so therefore these qualifications are there. What about Grihastha? Yeah, there is a whole host of Vaidika karmas which requires qualifications, and the qualification is what? One must be married. Only a married person can do Agnihotram. Agnihotram. These days, very few people do it. But I'm saying Agnihotram means you have to, that fire that was lit during the marriage is kept in a pot, and that fire has to be used every day to light this particular uh, Agni every day. And then Agnihotram has to be done. There are Agnihotris in Coimbatore, there are Agnihotris. Okay? Now it has become a very big thing. A person is Agnihotri means very big thing. And so qualification for doing all this karma is what? One must be married. And there are certain things which have to be done at particular times and particular places. Not every day, not even every month. So Naimittika karma is there. Nitya karma is there. Regularly done, or during eclipses, things are done. Eclipse. So, this Chandra Grahanam, Surya Grahanam, very important times when people engage in prayer, prarthana, and ritual. Very, very important times. They have identified those times as very important because of the alignment of the planets, which impacts us. And so, during that time, make sure you focus your mind on Ishvara, Bhagavan, and do these rituals. Anyway, that part, that thing. So what is the qualification of all these things? Qualification is you must be married. There are certain times and places when you have to do these things, and that's all is the qualification. What about moksha? When you come to moksha, the qualification is entirely different. He doesn't talk about brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprasthi, sannyasi. No, because the Vedaranic Upanishad says, okay, brahmachari bhutva grihi bhavet. After becoming a brahmachari, be a grihi, be a married person. Grihi bhutva vani bhavet. Means begin withdrawing from your quote unquote family duties. Begin the drawing. Grihi bhutva vani bhavet. Then vani bhutva pravrajet. Become a sannyasi. That's what Veda says. Or the Veda says one more thing. Yad ahareva virajet, tad ahareva pravrajet. Is what? The moment you discover dispassion towards dharma, artha, and kama, that minute itself pravrajet. That minute itself you can begin the study. Because now you have the qualification. That adhikari that he's going to talk about, only such that person is an adhikari. Like that, the Upanishad is saying. That means it is not referring to a particular ashrama. You must be married, you must have worked for so many years, you must have this kind of literacy level, your IQ level must be this much. Nothing. Nothing is talked about. Adhikaritvam, we are going to see what is adhikaritvam. And so here, the adhikari for moksha, Parama Purushartha is different from an adhikari for the Dharmartha Kama. Okay, Preyas Purushartha. This is Shreyas, this is Preyas. The result of this Preyas Purushartha is going to be Dharmartha and Kama, which is Anityam. Here the result we are talking about is Nityam. It has nothing to do with karma. Therefore, it can't refer to any of the ashramas. So anybody who's qualified for this, what does Mundaka says, Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan. Whoever has examined one's life, and the minute somebody has examined one's life and figured out that this is all Anityam, that's it. Nobody can stop that person. That adhikari, nobody can stop. Correct? That is what is being talked about here. So that's a difference. Why I said all this? A difference between an adhikari for dharmartha kama is different from an adhikari for moksha. That is why Shankaracharya has to say that there is a thing called qualification. And in any case, whenever we are talking about knowledge, you have to ask what is the qualification. So somebody applies for a PhD at a university here, and what is the qualification? They will ask. You have to in the application form. You have to list all the things you have done. I've got a bachelor's from Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham in psychology. Somebody's just yesterday somebody sent an application. They were from a poor family, so we are helping them. So she's doing this bachelor's. She is doing biology. She wants to do a PhD after this. Okay, so that means what? She's preparing herself by doing a bachelor's in biology in Kochi. She's saying after this I want to study. Like that they're talking about. She's already getting ready for that PhD. So you can't simply jump into a PhD. So same way here also. There at least you can put some quality. Do you have a bachelor's in biology? If you want to do a PhD in biology, that at least you can put a finger on that. But here you can't say something like that. Because here it is all internal. It is all internal. Maturity, emotional maturity, and spiritual maturity is there. And it's obviously going to be very different. So he's saying, Sadhanani atra chatvari katitani manishibihi yeshu satsu eva sannistha. Only if these are there, yeshu satsu eva, only if these qualities are there, these sadhanani are there. Okay. Sannishtha bhavati. San, Brahmanishtha bhavati. Brahmajnanam bhavati. Only then this Brahmajnanam can happen. Yad abhave na siddhyati. Yad abhave. In the absence of which na siddhyati. Moksha na siddhyati. Moksha is not possible. Because jnanam is not possible. Because the preparedness is not there. So Shankaracharya is making a very clear statement. This is required. Adhikaritvam is required. Because it's knowledge. Everybody wants to know something. As I told you, the example I gave you the other day, and one history book was there here. And if I show this book to somebody who comes, and this is a book on history, and I want to give it to you. Give it to you means, but that person is that person capable of reading this? Person who is interested in reading this? All that we have to find out. Adhikaritvam is there or not. Therefore, that is what is being introduced here. What was said in the previous shloka as adhikarinam ashaste, Shankaracharya has begun unfolding, and here he is saying that adhikaritvam is very important, and it is fourfold. Chatwari, he says. Chatwari means four. So there are four things I'm going to talk about in the next few shlokas. That's what he's saying here. We'll continue in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om